Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. We are going to talk about this one, the new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I am going to do some swatches. I'm going to do two different looks. We are going to see how similar this one is to the other Natasha Denona neutral palette that she has in her collection. Just basically finding out, is this one worth picking up or not? So I did purchase this palette over at Sephora. Actually, they had a pre-launch for Rouge members, and embarrassingly enough, I am Rouge over at Sephora, so I did end up purchasing this one. It is $69. You can buy it at Sephora, you can buy it at Ulta, you can also buy it over at the Natasha Denona website. And if you do shop from her own website, you can get 15% off your order using the code Angelica. I will leave the info and links for everything, including the things that I have on my face, in case you are interested, down in the description box. My codes and links may be affiliated, meaning that I do earn a small commission if you use them. And if you do, thank you so much for supporting my channel. So I did purchase this palette myself, and I did get it today. I am filming this on Tuesday and I'm planning to put it up on Tuesday as well. I got some comments asking where I was at because I usually post in the mornings, but I will actually have a bonus video up on Saturday as well this week. So there is going to be another video tomorrow morning. I just didn't upload Monday, Tuesday morning. In case you're wondering where I've been, I did get a couple of comments. So this palette is a neutral palette, and Natasha Denona has a full range of like I Need a Nude. She have had a highlighter, she has lip liners, lipsticks. I'm even wearing one of the lipsticks today. And this is the palette that she is branding as the I Need a Nude palette. And for me, looking at this palette, it is leaning pretty neutral slash cool tone. There's a couple of shades here that I wouldn't necessarily say are a cool tone, like this almost neutral salmony pink. There's also one like more neutral clay pink down here, but I also would not say that they are warm toned in my personal like opinion. But there's also a couple of shades here that I would say are leaning a little bit more cool tone. So for me, this is a mix of neutrals and cool tones. Also, with that being said, I do have a little bit of a warmer undertone. Usually when I buy foundations, I try to buy a foundation that's a neutral with a golden undertone. That usually fits me really well. So I will say that this palette is probably going to turn up looking cool tone on me no matter what. I first thought, because I have the Natasha Denona Glam palette here, and at first I thought that these were going to be very similar, but let me actually just show you these. Now that I have them, I don't think they're that similar. I also will say, of course, because this one has a black background, it ends up looking more dramatic than this one just because of the background. But I will say that this one is leaning much more taupey and like neutrally pink, and this one is more sand colored and like leaning more taupe, but like more on the sand colors and also like the goldy ones. And this one is more on the taupe and more, like I said, neutrally pink. So they're definitely different, but I will also show you some swatches side by side so that you can decide yourself what you think, if you think that these are similar or not. I definitely think that this is the thing. I am not like the biggest fan of neutral makeup. I like it fine enough, but I prefer something that's more dramatic. I prefer something that's more colorful. And the main reason why I picked up the I Need a Nude palette is not because I'm like, oh my god, this is the best palette that I've seen this year. No, it's because Natasha Denona is one of my favorite brands. I love reviewing the brand. I love the quality of the brand. And I kind of wanted to pick up this palette just to see if I think it is as good quality as the Yucca palette. That was more of a colorful palette that came out, which is more my favorite. So if you're looking at the I Need a Nude and you're like, this is so boring, check out the Yucca palette. It is so beautiful, so fun, and just a really good quality palette. If you like me, like more colorful things. Another neutral palette that she has is the Bronze palette, and as you can see, the Bronze palette is definitely that warmer, toastier, more red yellow leaning palette. And if you, like me, like more warm tone colors, maybe this one could be a better solution for you. It is honestly a really good quality. I also quickly just want to show you the My Dream palette that came out for last holiday about a year ago, and as you can see, this one is very warm, like peachy pink burgundy leaning, and it's definitely a totally different vibe than the I Need a Nude palette. And for me, this is a good neutral palette if you like colorful makeup, because there are a couple of pops in here that can make your makeup go in different directions for sure. I also wanted to show you the Biba palette because I feel like the Biba palette is a lot of people's favorite neutral palette from Natasha Denona. This is the bigger, I think $129 palette, and this is just a somewhat qualified guess. I don't think Natasha Denona will be doing this bigger format anymore. I don't think that I think she realized that people just rather would buy a palette for, this is $69, than one for like 120 or 110 or whatever they were. So I will say, even though I think the Biba is a really nice neutral palette, it's very matte heavy, which is something that I really like. You can definitely tell that it's much warmer, much warmer than the I Need a Nude palette, that, as you can see here in comparison, is very cool tone in comparison to this one. But I will say, the one that I immediately thought of when I opened the palette was this one. This is the Starlet palette that just came out, the mini palette. So if you were wanting to try this kind of a color scheme, but you did not want to buy it for $69, try the Starlet palette, the mini Starlet palette. Honestly, it's really nice quality. It is a similar vibe, like somewhat cool tone, the little neutral salmony vibe, not grays, but definitely not yellow or orange leaning. If you have a cool undertone, either of these palettes, I'm not sure if they're gonna show up like as gray on you, but I will say these kind of more neutral leaning, almost cool tones, they're a little bit more flattering on more skin tones, because for me, I never wear gray eyeshadow. I like a cool tone on me, but I prefer a warm tone. And it's straight up gray, I just never reach for it. So we're gonna try this out. There is a new formula in this one as well that is, I'm thinking just straight out the gate, I think it's this one and this one. You already saw the swatches, but these shades look a little bit more poured, and it's supposed to be like almost like a wet diamond topper kind of effect. So let's do two different looks and let's see what we get. Can we also like point out that there are no like cream to powder or her like jelly cream to powder? I love those, but I know not everyone loves them, so maybe this is like an easier palette to work with because of that. So I was thinking this first video we'll do something with the two more pinky shades, and I want to use this topper here, and maybe we'll deepen it up a little bit with this one. But let's start with the two pinky shades, and we'll just see where it ends up. And then we'll do one that's not pinky leaning. But I was thinking, if I use all the pinky leaning shades in this palette, how pinky will the look be? Don't take a shot every time I say pinky, but like, how pinky will it be? And also, since I told you I am a lover of dramatic makeup, I will definitely try and make this more my style. And you can of course tone it down a little bit if you like more muted makeup and see this more as inspiration of what colors to mix together. And I am using my brushes. This is the EO3, the big fluffy one. The EO3 is perfect for shades like this. It's a neutral that's close to my skin tone, so it's going to be super easy to blend in, and I can get a very soft and nice blended result and just build little by little, because it's very fluffy, so it doesn't pick up too much product. But I can just blend frivolously with it and just get a really nice soft result. So I used the same shade under my eyes as well and just blended it out a little bit. And now we're gonna do the Vague on just a slightly smaller brush. This is the EO2, and we are just gonna see what happens if we try and deepen this up. Because I do think that this one is slightly darker, and we're just gonna start building in the crease a bit. Yeah, it's definitely showing up darker. I do definitely think that I am able to build this one up on itself in the crease in a way that I feel like it gives a little bit more drama, but like definitely not as deep as I would like a shade to go, of course, but this isn't the darkest shade in the palette either, so I can always use a little bit of that dark brown in a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one, the dark brown. It is called Silhouette, and I'm gonna use my smallest brush, the EO5, and we are just gonna try and deepen this up just a little bit more. I don't want to make this look super dark. Like I said, I want to keep this as pinky as possible. So instead, we're gonna try and do the next look like super dramatic, but I still want to keep true to myself and do what I really like, which is a little bit of depth just out here in the outer part of the lid, just to lift a little bit. I think that looks really nice. Just like I said, adding a little bit just to lift a little bit in the outer corner, because I don't want this to be like too dark. So I think we're gonna be using the Mia shade. Can we just... Ooh, yeah, that is like a baby pink wet effect. I think we're just gonna put this on. Ooh, that is actually really, really nice. Like I said, I usually don't do like more light looks, but yeah, that's like a sparkly topper, and it's like an icy baby pink, and I am using the dry finger to just blend it out a little bit. But that is looking really cute, and I think there is a lot of people out there that's gonna love a shade like this. And I'm gonna be using the one that's called Fair. This one here, I'm gonna be using that as an inner corner highlight. I love a matte light inner corner. I think it's so pretty, but I'm gonna see if I can do the next look the opposite. A dark matte inner corner. Just you wait and see. A little nude liner, some mascara, a half lash, and I guess we're done. This is very like bridal makeup, I say as someone who wore green to her wedding. So this is my first look, and it is very much out of my personal comfort zone, and I mean I've only used a couple of the more pinky shades, like this one, this one, this one, and this one right here, plus of course a little bit just of the darkest one. But is this a little bit more warm tone? Yes, definitely. But I think I did use pretty much the shades that are a little bit more warm tone, and you can see that it goes a little bit more on the peachy, browny, clay, terracotta route, but like a more like almost a pinky terracotta. But I prefer these tones on me over like really, really cool tones. But we are gonna be playing, I'm gonna actually start with this one in my second look, and we're gonna do a really dark take on a halo eye. That's what I want to do. So I think we're gonna start out with this one. I mean, I like this look, but I will say, if this is what you wanted from this palette and you're not necessarily super interested in the browns, just get the mini starlet, like this one. Basically, you will get a look that's like this from this one. Like so similar that you definitely don't need the bigger one. So if this is what you were hoping to achieve with this one, and the rest is like just browny neutrals, and the rest is just brown shimmers, I save your money and get this one. But I will say, so far everything is performing beautifully. I do like Natasha Denona quality, even though of course her more colorful color stories are appealing a little bit more to me. But let's take this off and let's go in with that dark brown. Can we talk about this lipstick? This is the first time I'm using this one. This one is in Gigi. It's that slim I Need a Rouge lipstick. This is the first time I'm using it. It is such a beautiful, bright, warm red. Big fan. Absolutely a big fan. So I'm gonna be starting with actually a little EO5 and the one that's called Silhouette. And we're just gonna be building with that one to begin with. And I'm gonna try to go in little by little, but since this is a dark brown, it's probably gonna escalate kind of quickly. And I'm gonna put it in here too, and I'm just putting it not too much, just a little bit. And I'm gonna be using an EO1. I'm gonna clean off the white from the other look, and I'm gonna use the side of that one, and I'm gonna put it on the lower lash line and in the inner corner too. This is gonna be so cool. I have high expectations. And I'm gonna do the same out here. I actually think I'm gonna put on the entire lower lash line, because I usually don't like when there's like a light gap in the middle, only on the top lash, not on the bottom one. So I think I'm gonna be using this one that's called Stone, and we are gonna use that one And we are just gonna blend a little bit on the edges with that. Just to soften the edge a little bit, and I'll use a little bit on the lower lash line too. Oh my god, can you even see something? I'm gonna leave it like this right now, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a little shimmer as well. I just need to, well, do this eye too. Blending out the outer part of the other eye. But I do think that it looks very dramatic and very fun. And I was thinking, what kind of a shimmer do we want to do? I kind of want to swatch it because I haven't swatched this as I'm filming this. This is Delilah. That could be really fun because it's that other super shimmery one. And we also have Muse. That's a little bit more of a pale gold. Let's avoid that. And then we have Whisper. That's more of a, it's not a satin, but you can see it has a little bit less sparkle or shine to it. It's a little bit more demure. Maybe we want to go like Ella, which is honestly a little darker. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to do the shiny then? Maybe we will do the shiny. The Delilah one, which is the one here. I think this also is that new shine formula. Oh yeah, that is actually really delightful. And I'm just tapping that in the middle. And personally, when I do halo eyes, I like taking my shimmer up a little bit because I have such folds here. So if I don't do that, my hood is gonna eat up the entire design and there's like no design left. I need to, you know what I need? I need to clean my hands because I have swatches on each of them, but I'm just gonna, that looks very nice. I really like how that is looking. I'm gonna use a little bit of the brown eyeliner from Colourpop. I've actually been using this a lot. I think it's, yeah, it's Brew Haha. And I'm just putting that in the outer corner and on the lower lash line. And I also put it in my waterline. And let's see if we can build a little line. Just the smallest one, just like that. Just something to tie it all together. I gotta admit that it's super fun to sit down and do two different looks. One that is super smoky and dramatic and just like glamour and like going to dinner, going out with a red lip, and then one that is a little bit softer, a little bit, I don't know, going for a coffee or a coffee date maybe, or going to the office or a wedding. It's nice to do looks in like different spectrum basically of things. Here's the thing, do I love this color story? No. Did I think I was gonna love this color story? Also no. But I like the quality of the things that I've used so far, and I do think that from what I used in this palette, I do think that it is the Natasha Denona that I know and love. So if you are interested in this color story, and if you do think that this is different enough from other palettes, or if this was exactly what you were waiting for, I will say that the quality is really nice. If you, like me, love more dramatic, colorful makeup and you want to have something that's neutral adjacent, I still think the retro one is better for me because it has the neutrals but also the plummy purples. I like the Sendo more than I like this one as well. Same there, I can go neutral but it also has some colors. This one is, for me, it is a well-rounded neutral palette. It goes from really light to really dark, both in shimmers and in mattes. There are different options for sure, and I can go in different directions. But there's no twist to this one. And I like a neutral palette with a twist, and for me, the twist in this one isn't big enough for me to be like, oh my god, this is such an interesting neutral palette. This is a great quality neutral palette, but is it different? I don't know. I will say I did see a side-by-side with this one and the one palette from Makeup by Mario that came out that like was discontinued. and they were extremely similar. So if you were wanting that color story, do take an extra peek at this one, because like I saw them side by side and I was like, even me, I gave it a double take. I was like, wow, those are very similar. So if you missed out on that one, this one seems to be pretty much the same kind of a like air, atmosphere feeling. But yeah, for me, the Yucca palette is still my favorite, but nobody's surprised. I do love colors, but the quality is really nice of this one, and I will continue to review Natasha Denona because I'm very familiar with her formulas. I'm very familiar with her palettes. Hopefully this video was interesting, helpful, a little inspiring maybe. Do let me know what you think down below. Like I said, if you want more info, it's in the description box, and I will see you again tomorrow in a video that's more about colorful eyeshadow palettes. Bye!